Good morning. Welcome to Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket, George D. John Train Station Fitness Show. Dr. Jeremy Webster is my guest and co-host today because we have got a show for you that I'd say Dr. Webster is years overdue.
Right.
Okay.
And our jobs are safe.
And our and our jobs are certainly safe. This show, if you didn't see me write about it on Facebook, then I'll share it with you. If you're out of town and you didn't hear the promo, what Dr. Webster and I did is we went into several supplement stores, all different supplement stores. We're not going to tell you which ones because it really doesn't matter. And we decided to ask the clerks, the salespeople there, which is what they really are, I think. They're salespeople now, right? They're not just people behind a desk taking your order and giving you the money back. What the best and latest and greatest supplements are and why. So I devised some questions. Dr. Webster had some questions. We both went in and asked these questions of these people, and the result was
surprising in some ways.
Surprising.
In some ways good, and a lot of ways bad, of course. But the bad ways, I don't think we were really surprised to hear some of the things we heard.
Right.
It was shocking to know that these people are given, I guess you could say, health advice to people.
Right. Do you really want to get your health advice from someone at a vitamin store?
Is that a question for me?
It's rhetorical, obviously,
right,
because we know the answer. But I don't know. I don't understand. I can't say I don't understand, because you have people say, "But George, we can't afford a personal trainer. We can't afford a nutritionist, so we go to a vitamin store." Someone said to me the other day, and I'm not going to mention the name of the store, "George, I go to this store because their prices are the cheapest." Well then, and we don't have to get into all of that, but you and I discussed this so many times, and I've discussed it by myself and with Jill and other people on the show, that when you have the cheapest supplement, not only do you not get the results you want, but you actually could be harming yourself.
Right, and I was talking to a patient just recently about this, and she used to do the same thing. She said she'd see the advertisements on TV. She'd go to the different stores, buy all the things that she thought she needed. She said she was wasting her time and she never got any good results. She was constantly sick and feeling bad and not getting the results with her metabolism. She said she started coming to me, getting sound advice, and she said in the long run she's spent less because she's only taking what she needs to take.
Right.
And not all this stuff that she's basically wasting her money on.
So what we're going to do today is play the recordings for you on the air. And this is some funny stuff. And if you've listened to the show for a long enough period of time, you'll know and you'll recognize some of the stuff that they say is so far out there. You wonder how these people have a job. But some of it was kind of funny also. And this is, what do I mean? I'll give you the first part, and this is how it started off the entire conversation.
Well, my girl's fat. I like fat chicks. I like big asses.
So more of that coming up next here on Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. 712 Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. George D. John Train Station Fitness Show. Dr. Webster is my guest today in the studio. We decided to go into some supplement stores and find out what they knew, basically. Went in there with some questions, and I said, look, I'm here because my girl told me to be here, and Dr. Webster said the same thing. Again, all of this was a lie. We asked for their permission to record them so we can get the information straight, make sure we understood what they were saying. We didn't have to write it all down. They all said yes, it was fine. And did you know, per their words, that L-carnitine, I can't even say it the wrong way. Carnitine, I think is what he said.
L-carnitine.
L-carnitine turns your fat into energy, and it's all natural. Did you know that, Dave?
No.
You didn't know that?
Never heard that.
I didn't know that either, because I've never heard of L-carnitine in my life. Have you?
Not until you said it.
No, I'm sorry, Dr. Webster got it right. It's L-carnitine. Not L-carnitine, it's L-carnitine. So go ahead and play that next one. This is good. You have to understand it. Anytime, Dave.
Great.
Dave did his bang-up editing job.
Okay, and so it boosts up their metabolism too, and so that's beneficial right there too. It'll boost up their metabolism, and so it'll suppress their appetite too, but they won't want to. They don't want to eat as much. They don't want to eat as much. Okay. So what about? It's not a stimulant. cancer tablet. Basically boosting up your metabolism, and so throughout the day you don't want to consume as much food as you would regularly.
Okay. So it boosts your metabolism, but you don't want to consume more food.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so there's something I left out of there. He mentioned L-carnitine in the very beginning, and he'll do it again later on, and we'll share that with you. But Dave, did you know that you can boost your metabolism and be less hungry? That's what he said. Did you hear it?
Boost your metabolism and be okay.
So you go into. Go ahead.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Alright.
you have to really think. You know, if you're a
Like, is there
person.
something I'm missing?
Yeah, if you go into a store and you're just going to be the person who doesn't allow yourself to think and you allow someone else to think for you, and someone says it's going to boost your metabolism and make you want to eat less. So I asked him about it, and then Dr. Webster said, how does that work?
Right. Basically, your metabolism just means you're breaking down molecules, converting one molecule into another. Typically, we think of metabolism as breaking food down into energy. If you're breaking food down into and making energy out of it more efficiently, you're going to typically want more food. That's just the way the body works.
So what's the next one that we have up? Do we have Skinny Girl up, or is it the Excedrine?
I think this is the cleanse.
The cleanse? Go ahead and pull that one up. This is the cleanse packets.
But do you really need to cleanse?
Well, you want to cleanse out your system before you start your diet to basically prepare your workout routine and diet routine too. So clean out every.
Do you have to cleanse? I mean, don't you starve yourself when you cleanse?
Yeah, basically. I mean, you're flushing out everything.
Yeah.
And so then you're starting up your diet. And so with this system, you basically have it all. Well, it's in packets. I'm sorry. And so you're basically just doing that.
So what you're telling me is they wouldn't eat while they did this. Wouldn't they just lose weight anyway?
Yeah, they're just basically flushing all their fat out, and then whatever diet they're choosing to go on, it'll help them even more like that.
So Dave, before we go any further, what have you learned about cleansing?
It flushes your fat out.
Yeah. And now when you did my cleanse, were you allowed to eat or are you supposed to starve?
Yeah, you could eat quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
What I liked about it, he said it's best to cleanse before you do your diet, as if diet doesn't have anything to do with cleansing.
Right.
Right. We know that you've got to have certain amounts of protein. You've got to have the antioxidants to protect your body. If you're just eating your regular garbage junk, your Doritos diet like most people eat, cleansing is going to be probably harmful at best. It's not going to work at all for one.
So this next one is one of the big kickers for me. There's excuse me, there's several of them, but this is what he does. We're talking about a supplement that will make you expend more calories throughout the day, have more energy. And Dr. Webster and I talked about a dangerous ingredient that was once, or was touted dangerous, in supplements. You remember ephedra, Dave, or ephedrine?
Yes.
Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And it was taken
yeah.
off the market. It was taken out of all these supplements, and then they put them back in again and said there's no danger. It's fine as long as you have it in a certain window of use. So he wants to say ephedra or ephedrine, but it doesn't come out that way as far as what they took out the ingredient and put back in. And then it goes in a completely different direction. No, that's the name of the company. But he still says the wrong word. And you've just got to listen to this. It's fantastic. It's so great for radio, and it's so bad for you if you intend on putting your trust in these people to buy these supplements. Go ahead.
Has a problem with this, sleeping all night, in trouble falling asleep, and craves sugar. Would this affect her in a positive way, a negative way, or has nothing to do with it?
This will probably be a negative thing because of energy boost in there, and this it'll keep her going throughout it'll keep her awake.
Keep her awake. So,
So does this have caffeine too? The hydroxycut? Okay.
what's the ingredient that was in there that was taken off the shelves and then put back on the shelf?
It's from the RFA, Excedrin, but they put that
Excedrin?
Yeah. And so they put that back in.
They put Excedrin back in.
Yeah, they basically put it back in there.
Where is it in here?
The RFA?
The Excedrin, you said.
No, Excedrin's a company.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now stop it.
FX.
So he said, now it sounds like he's saying Excedrin, which is Excedrin PM or something that, that's like an aspirin, okay? And that's what he is saying, Excedrin. So then he goes, we talk about it being put in and then taken out. He goes, no, Excedrin's the company. All right, now listen to the rest. Go ahead.
What's the RFA he's talking about?
That was just one of the product names.
Okay.
I guess now the marketing name is RFA,
Okay.
but they're probably not labeling it and breaking it down, saying it's ephedra or ephedrine.
Okay.
So listen to the rest. What he's talking about Excedrin is.
It's the willow bark and all that.
Yeah.
That's what they basically took out
Okay.
and put it back in.
I'm no English major, but doesn't this
So he just said white willow bark is now what they took out, and then they put that back in.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Which is completely wrong. That white willow bark is a natural pain reliever. In fact, it's what aspirin is derived from.
Right.
They basically copied the chemical structure of white willow bark. Has nothing to do. It's not like. I'm sorry. I want to say Excedrin.
You want to say Excedrin, right?
Ephedrine.
Yeah.
Ephedra or ephedrine.
Has nothing to do with
They
it.
typically used aspirin along with ephedrine to get like a blood thinning and a stimulating effect. But it wasn't the white willow bark that was the problem.
You can also go to one of these natural grocery stores and get something if you want an aspirin, but something natural called Boswellia. Boswellia will do the same thing, but it takes about 4 or 5 days to get into your system, so you'd have to keep it in you all the time. It's not going to be dangerous for you like aspirin could. So, going back to this, he says now this Excedrin is the name of the company, all right? But go ahead and, this is where the big foul up is.
say Xenadrine?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, okay, we interrupted it too early. I said I'm no English major, but doesn't this say Xenadrine? The whole time he's saying Excedrin about being the supplement that's put in and then taken out, where he really means ephedra, and then he points to the bottle and it says Xenadrine on the front. I said, well, I'm no English major, but doesn't this say Xenadrine? He goes, oh, yeah.
Right, which is just basically the label on the top of the bottle.
Are you kidding? I can't wait to buy supplements from this guy. So the next one, Dr. Webster and I talk about working out and gaining muscle. We want to gain muscle. Go ahead, Dave.
A good pack. It contains your multivitamins that you need regularly. It also has similar to the energy booster that the women's have, but a little bit stronger. Also has L-arginine, which basically boosts up your nitric oxide level, so you can basically be a beast at the gym.
Nitric oxide, isn't it like dangerous or something?
Well, it's just gonna boost it up a little bit because I believe it has 500 milligrams of that, and so yeah, 500 milligrams. Basically, it'll just give you a pre-workout supplement right there. So it has your pre-workout, your
So stop. So here he goes. I said, isn't that dangerous? Where he talks about nitrous oxide. He goes, well, there's only going to be a little bit of it. There's 500 milligrams. Not that it's good. Not that it's bad, or really what it is.
It's not dangerous.
It's not. Yeah,
There's
it's
only
just
500 milligrams.
Only 500 milligrams. And then there's a pause, and he's reading it. Yeah, only 500 milligrams, and that's going to give you a pre-workout, whatever the heck.
So
he
you can
said.
be a beast in the gym.
Be a beast in the gym. Don't worry, it's dangerous, but you'll be a beast
You're only
in the
getting
gym.
500.
It's dangerous. There's not that much, but you'll be a beast.
Yeah, you'll look good in the coffin.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave. Finish the rest.
multivitamin and glutamine to help you recover, so you won't feel no soreness.
That was the
Wait.
where you don't get a sore because you take glutamine.
Okay, so is the next part still the soreness part? All right, hold on. So set this next one up. Is he talks about preventing soreness? Now there's certain supplements you can take with recovering faster, Dave. But he said it'll prevent soreness, and I said to him, that means I can do 1,000 reps and not worry about being sore the next day. And he's like, yeah. So go ahead and play that.
You just said there's something in there that will help you not to feel soreness?
Yeah, glutamine. Yeah, the tablet right there.
That's cool. Do 1,000 reps, don't have to worry about being sore the next day. Go back and do it
But it's
again.
gonna make you big without getting fat though. This has a good fat burner in there too. From the Total Lean package, it has a Burn 60, a very good fat burner, which basically destroys all the calorie intakes that you put in. So whatever it does go in your body, it'll just tear it out. So
Okay,
you're telling
Dave, you
me
got to
I can
stop
eat
here.
pizza?
The fat burner destroys all the calorie intake of your body.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you eat, it just destroys it.
Right, you can eat whatever you want; it'll just destroy it. Now you got to understand, people, everybody who's listening, you got to understand that Dr. Webster and I were very good actors because we did everything we could to keep a straight face. And I said, "Look, Jeremy, when we leave this place, we can't talk about this stuff. We've got to save it for the air." But of course, there were a couple things we just had to say, and we're cracking up. I mean, how could you? This is so ridiculous. What? Go ahead. You can eat whatever you want, Dave.
It's insane, and it's like the stuff you're asking them isn't, you know, like you guys are in the industry and know all this technical stuff. It's not stuff out there on the edge.
Yeah.
This is pretty common stuff that anybody would go in and ask.
It's normal,
Yeah.
simple questions. That's what we did on purpose.
And that's what the scary part, because if you really went in there for something specific, that could really do some damage.
And what's scary
That's
is
the point.
What's scary is there's a spot coming up later which I'm not going to spoil it, but he actually talks about a cure for something.
Yes. Yes, and you saw me put that in bold letters.
Yeah.
We have our notes here in front of us about things they said. So finish playing the rest of that one. Is it over or no?
And milkshakes and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and then we'll take care of that.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
Burn 60 right there.
So you can drink milkshakes and it'll just take care
It'll
of
just
that.
take it
Because
away.
It just destroys
Yeah,
all the
you eat
calories.
whatever you want because this will destroy all the calories. Dave, we're going to go to a break and we'll come back with something that the same guy said, and then we'll move to the next store. The same guy said, and get this, if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, then you have a good amount of basic knowledge. And if someone tells you you can only absorb 46 grams of protein per day, run. Run as fast as you can, and if you paid them, make sure to get your money back. We'll talk about that and more with the stores that Dr. Webster and I visited, and that they say certain things are natural when they're not natural, and they can hurt you. Do you really want to trust these people when you walk into a store and ask them questions other than, how much is this? Talking more about that coming up next, 726. Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. George DeJohn Train Station Fitness Show, and also Dr. Webster is next to me. Dr. Webster's phone number, if you want to talk to him about quality supplements you can buy, is 972-735-0707. And we'll set you on the right track so you can actually buy supplements with knowledge and ask what is natural, what is going to hurt you, what is going to be something that you can use for your particular goals, and not be upsold on something you don't need or told information that is so ridiculous, like you can be cured by taking a certain supplement, like you can only, what did he say? You boost your metabolism and you can prevent soreness and never have to worry about being sore again, and you can boost your metabolism, not have to worry about eating anything because it'll burn it all away, and all
Drink
these goofy
milkshakes.
things.
Drink
Yeah,
milkshakes,
drink
and it just
milkshakes.
destroys the calories that you consume.
So the one coming up next is we're talking about, Dr. Webster said, what can you do about if you can't get it up? He wanted to do something, and he's kind of low in his voice, and of course I'm louder. And so there's a couple of things in here that the clerk says, or salesperson says, but one of them is dangerous. It's dangerous in that he said there's something that will cure you. You never, ever, ever tell somebody that they'll be cured by taking something or doing something. You don't even use the word. So this is, if you take anything away from this show today, this is the one very important thing you need to know. Somebody says cure, again, get up, walk away, you're done. Don't talk to that person again. Davey, go ahead and talk.
What?
Go ahead and I'm sorry. Go ahead and play that recording.
Okay.
I'm reading while I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. Not wanting to use Viagra as a medicine. What do you use for sex drive?
Well, we have the performance pack for guys. Basically, that has a double strength fish oil too. Prostate, it helps with prostate, and it has horny goatweed in there. Basically, keep you going. Sounds like. keep you going. And so that's a good part.
Wait, hold on. Let's back up for a moment because I'm a little confused. The fish oil is used for more things than one. It's got more than one benefit. You're telling me fish oil will help me with my sex drive?
Yes, it will too. Because this one has a higher potency than that one.
Higher potency than the other one? And what else does it have in it? Prostate formula? What is wrong with my prostate? How do we know? How do we know that's a sex drive issue?
Well, that would be something like, because some customers come in here telling, doctors, you probably got to go ask your doctor if there's anything wrong with your prostate. And then if there is, this is a pack which will help cure that and for sex.
So there you go. Hold on a minute. So that's where he made the huge mistake. He started off really good. He started off, well, we don't know, maybe you should go to your doctor, and if people come in and their doctor says there's something wrong with the prostate, okay, he's doing great up to that point, and then he says, and if your doctor says there's something wrong with your prostate, this will be the cure.
Right.
Which
would have been better choice of words that if you take fish oil, it's an anti-inflammatory, and it can lower inflammation and possibly help you. But the other thing is he doesn't address testosterone, hormone balance, and then you have the mental edge, which I don't expect them to recognize either. But
wait, going back to the prostate thing, if you have prostate cancer, it'll cure you.
Oh,
If you have
God, no.
if you have enlarged prostate. What's
Right.
It's just
yeah,
crazy.
It's blanketed,
If your
and you
doctor
don't use
says
that
any,
word.
if your doctor says you have a prostate problem, this will cure you.
And you know what? If your doctor says you have a prostate problem, he's not going to tell you to go to a supplement place either, or she.
No.
So go ahead, Davey.
And horny goat weed in there. Horny goat weed. What does that do? Sounds good.
Basically, that'll keep you up.
It'll keep you up.
Yeah.
Is this a Staminol? Is that what Staminol pill? What period of time will that work? I don't have a problem with that. This guy does, but
Yeah, you don't want to take that like 30 to 20 minutes before you're inactive.
yeah.
And so that's when it'll start kicking in.
Okay. Is there a guarantee on that?
What if you take it and you don't have sex? You're just going to be up.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
What? Is there a guarantee on that?
On that, I'm not sure about, but most of it is like customers, they would do come by that and they have success in that.
Good.
All right,
I
go
like how you make it perfect. Make it perfectly aware that you have no problem with that.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Call
Dr.
on him.
Webster.
Dr. Webster.
Yeah, Jeremy has a problem with that.
I've got the problem.
Even though we're faking it, doesn't matter. I don't have a problem with that. Now,
So the horny goat weed I thought was funny. You know that's I've seen this in herbal circles when you read about herbs and study herbs, which I've done just a little bit. I don't claim to be an herbalist, but I use a few that I know about. And there's some of the craziest names, and this is one I've come across in the past. And there's a lot of funny names like
Yeah.
that, but that is truly something that is used for erectile dysfunction in certain instances.
now, Dave, are you feeling bad for this guy because he's young? You can tell he's in his 20s. Are you feeling bad for him at all?
No.
Why?
If he doesn't know, he shouldn't be saying this stuff.
If he doesn't know,
Very
should he
simple.
be given any advice at all?
Yeah.
There is a set of supplement stores, again, I'm not going to mention any of them, that corporate tells them they're not allowed to give any advice other than, I've used this, I like this, this sells a lot. They're not allowed to give any health advice at all. Now, don't you think that affects their sales? They're probably selling less.
It depends, because if even if like a normal person like me went in a store like that and like just some of the stuff from listening to your show, I would probably be pretty really turned off of what this guy said. That if I
Yeah, but
went
you listen to the show, you're educated, you're fit. Somebody who's got 50 pounds to lose, they don't have much money. They figure, okay, let me go get a cheap supplement. Let me hear what these people who have a lot more to say and know about this stuff than I do. I feel, much just my belief, that if you're going to listen to someone who's giving you advice about any product you ask about, you're more inclined to buy at that store than one, one where someone says, well, we can't give any health advice or medical advice, but this one tends to sell a lot. And I applaud this company who takes that stance, but I don't know how they make it opposed to other ones.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
think
location.
it probably hurts him. What's interesting, the way this guy approaches things is anything you ask, he's basically not doing any more than reading what's right there on the label
Yeah.
or on the sales slip right in front of us.
Yeah.
And then he just basically, anything beyond that, it seems like he's just totally
Reaching.
making it up.
He's reaching, yeah.
He shouldn't go beyond that.
And that's a good point. There's 2 points Dr. Webster just mentioned. Number one, he was reading everything. Everything we asked about, he would turn it and look at it and read it. And the other thing is, years ago, even now I'll do it, we don't take call-ins anymore, but if somebody asks a question and I don't know the answer, I'll say, I don't know. I'll get back to you next week, or email me and I'll let you know, and I'll find out the people who do know, or do my own research and let you know. You get so much more credibility and say, I don't know. So let's go to the next part. The next part is, again, one of the most profound statements I've ever heard in my entire life, and especially coming from a supplement store. This is one of the most retarded sayings you could ever say
You're
to
not supposed
somebody.
to say that anymore.
What?
Retarded.
You can't say that?
No. The PC police.
The PC police.
the R word.
Did you take it out?
No.
Oh my God. Now I'm going to be in trouble. Well, I didn't mean to. Anyway, this is something you don't want to listen to when someone says about protein, what you should and shouldn't take and how much you should or could absorb. Go ahead.
What's the best protein bar like for guys and for girls? So the guys that want to get big versus the girls that want to just lose weight.
Oh, okay, well, if you're doing that, the guys can only everybody can only consume 46 grams of protein per day.
Stop.
So
Everybody can only consume 46 grams of protein per day. We'd be dead.
Right. Your liver, here's a fact that shows how ridiculous that is. One single organ, just pick one. Your liver requires about 25 grams of protein to function at its optimum. Just by itself, independent of everything else. If all of it just went straight there and wasn't used for muscles, for hormones, for neurotransmitters, for building your skin and your brain and everything else that it's used for. So that's just one organ.
So the point is, we know that you can consume 24 grams of protein per meal if you're going to have a meal. And it's not necessarily that one meal and then a half hour later that meal. We're talking about being a normal person. Now, somebody wrote me on Facebook and said, well, George, don't you think he meant per meal? And obviously I thought of that, so here's the rest of the conversation.
Best bar, if you're looking for high protein, would be the Supreme Protein.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm very confused about something. I've been doing a lot of reading lately. You said that a guy can only consume 46 grams of protein per day. Not per meal, per day.
Per day.
Okay.
Per day.
All right, now, I changed it also, just to change it up a little bit more, and said a guy. Because he said everybody. And then I said, you said a guy? So I asked him that, and he said yes again.
And then specifically, per meal or per day? No, per meal. Per day. Per day, no,
yeah.
Specifically, definitely per day. He's sure of that.
So now we'll get into the second part, and many of you have seen where you look at Dave, don't play the sugar, alcohol, and protein bars. Go to the next one where it says all natural, 142. Let's do that one because we have to move forward. We're running out of time. He talks about bars being all natural. Dr. Webster asked him specifically, is this stuff all natural? Go ahead.
32 grams of...
Now, are these all natural?
Yeah.
They're all natural, okay.
That's the last one I have, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. You have anything else?
Sucralose is natural? Is that... Sucralose? Yeah. Yeah, all these protein bars are basically natural.
Okay, stop it right there, Dave. So I asked him specifically about one single ingredient.
Right.
Sucralose. Is sucralose natural? You want to hear what sucralose is? It's manufactured by selective chlorination of sucrose, which is table sugar. You substitute 3 of the hydroxyl groups with chloride. It's achieved by protection of a primary alcohol group, followed by acetylation, and then deprotection of the primary alcohol groups, following an induced acetyl migration on one of the hydroxyl groups.
Okay, whatever. What?
That's what sucralose is. It's a chemical made in a laboratory.
It's all natural.
That's
Dave.
Looking out the window, I see a field of sucralose. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, this is scary. I went to another store, George, without you later. I'm not going to name it. I asked them also the same exact question. I got a lot of the same stuff from them, but I specifically said, okay, I want it natural, and also I said, what are the sweeteners? They said, oh, this says sucralose in it, and that acesulfame K. I said, okay, so there's no Splenda in it, right? Because Splenda gives me headaches. You know what Splenda is?
Yeah, it's sucralose.
It's sucralose.
Yeah.
And they said, no, there's none of that in there. So I specifically said, this ingredient gives me headaches. Don't have to worry about that. It just has sucralose.
Yeah. There's that. So, Dave, I thought you had one more. You don't have another one? All right, so...
Nope, that's it.
That's it.
Is that clip done?
All right, here's one, and I'll play it from my recorder here, where he's talking about L-carnitine, okay? And we'll tell you more about that here. Hold on.
Want more energy throughout the day.
That's what's good about these active packs. Like the active packs, ultra mega active packs. Like I said, it's got your energy enhancer.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like I said, it's gonna boost your metabolism, but it's also gonna give them a lot of energy. And on top of it, the CLA it's an enhanced diet. That's the source of energy. And the L-carnitine is going to convert those fatty acids usually around the stomach area, and that's going to also turn all that into natural source of energy.
Okay. Now, what's this one called right here?
L-carnitine.
L-carnitine, okay.
It's an amino acid.
Okay.
Webster, go ahead on that, please.
It's L-carnitine.
L-carnitine.
It is made up of amino acids, but it's not an amino acid. And it doesn't target fat specifically around your stomach area. It helps you pull in. It does help you pull in fatty acids from the blood into the cell, into the specific part of the cell, so that you can potentially burn it for energy if your cells require that and they have the machinery to drive that process. But to say that a nutrient like that is going to specifically target just the fat around your belly is absolutely ridiculous.
Dave, you go into a store and you want to buy something, and how do you know? I mean, you've got a good amount of knowledge now from listening to the show all these years, but how do you know when someone's BSing you or not? I have certain things that I look for and listen to from being a police officer, growing up in that environment with my family. There's certain characteristics that I'll look for. How do you know going into a store if somebody's BSing you or not?
I think a lot depends on their demeanor. If they're saying, like, the first guy that was speaking would kind of trail off or up, like he was almost like when he said something, he was almost questioning it himself.
Yeah.
Because his voice would like kind of go up, and then just if they actually look at you very directly and are just giving you
doe eyes.
Yeah, they're just like just sitting there giving you the information, blah blah blah, just straightforward. Then I tend more to believe them than if they're standing there kind of looking around or have their hand in their pocket,
searching for the answer.
Exactly, or looking for somebody else, that kind of thing.
What about stumbling over your words, talking super fast, fishing for words?
Yeah, things like that. And then if like you guys point stuff out, and then they just yeah, blah blah blah, and try to gloss over it real fast, things like that.
So at that point, what do you do?
I would probably just thank them and leave.
What's scary, George? The first guy that we'd been playing, he was more knowledgeable than the second guy that we talked to.
Yeah.
The guy that we've been showing how terribly wrong his advice is and how poor his advice is, he was the best of the two.
Yeah, just so you know, and I didn't set this up, we already played 2 from the second guy, the second store that we went to. So coming up next, I want you to hear what the second guy said about what happens if you have bloating and you take too much fiber. Also, he listens to Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz recommends broccoli. Did you know broccoli has no calcium and it's loaded with vitamin E? What? Stay tuned for more of that coming up next. Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket.
Listen.
George D. John, 753, Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. Dr. Webster's next to me. We went to some supplement stores, we asked some questions, and we got some really bad advice. So we'll set you up with this next recording. The next one is where they talk about bloating. What happens when you have bloating? I asked him the question, and he started going off on fiber and what will happen if you have too much fiber. Go ahead and listen now.
Girl waits 5 weeks before she goes to the bathroom one time. What would they use?
All right, I would come over here.
Now, what I just said is I said my girl waits 5 weeks before she goes to the bathroom and has bloating. I had the sound down too low, so here goes the rest.
Complete body cleansing program.
What is this? It's a cleansing program?
It's a 7-day program.
Do you get to eat on it?
Yeah, you can eat.
I thought when you cleanse, you're not allowed to eat.
Let's see.
So he's searching. Well, let's see if you can eat.
Still looking at directions. All right. Now, why are you recommending this one?
It's got it does everything. It's got a gastric formula, there's a total cleanser, blood circulation formula to help that. There's a liver cleanser, there's a kidney cleanser, there's an enzyme blend to help break down all your foods. There's a ton of fiber in there, and there's probiotics and prebiotics. That's for your immune system, also for your digestion.
How much fiber is in there?
Figure out which one has the fiber.
We're reading.
Just searching.
This one right here says dietary fiber. It's got 4 grams, 60% of your daily value.
So 4 grams of fiber.
So,
Is that a lot of fiber?
it's a good amount.
Okay.
You don't need a lot of fiber because if you have too much, you're gonna be squirting everywhere.
You're going to be squirting everywhere if you get too much fiber.
Yeah, don't worry.
All right. Well, then,
Squirting what?
You don't want too much fiber because you'll be squirting.
You'll be going.
Not necessarily, no, you
might
won't.
plug
You know what I
in.
learned on that one?
Especially women who are bloated and constipated. If you start to introduce a bunch of fiber, they'll actually get worse.
You know what I learned about that one? Put Botox on the end of anything. It'd be really good for you.
Yeah.
Probiotics and prebiotics.
Ticket
Yeah.
botics. Hey, look, you need a little ticket botics and
Yeah.
some Jeremy botics and anything that's got botics on it. It'd be good for you.
So now let me share the last one. Dr. Webster asks him about bone health. This is the last one we have. There's a bunch more actually we didn't put in here, but there's something he says that's just so ridiculous. Listen.
600. That's pretty sure that's about 60% of your daily value that you need.
okay. So we should definitely trust the government on our values, how much we need.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And even if you guys watch Dr. Oz, I just had it with a couple ladies coming in here.
they were asking me, like, they watched Dr. Oz, and he recommended that you needed 600 milligrams, at least 600 milligrams of calcium a day.
Can you just get calcium from food, though?
Yeah.
What foods have calcium?
Your milks, yogurts, just your milk products. And
Okay.
Stuff. So like milks, yogurts.
Yeah, some goofball was telling me that, like, broccoli had calcium in it. Yeah.
So broccoli's going to be like your vitamin E.
Vitamin E and broccoli, okay.
I go, some goofballs telling me you can get calcium from broccoli, which is obviously myself. He goes, no, broccoli is your vitamin E. Now, it has vitamin E in it, but it's
a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
very little, maybe like 1% of your daily allowance for vitamin E.
You know what? So what is today's lesson? It's do not believe everything you hear. When you get bad advice from someone or advice you're not sure of, go talk to someone else, and don't go to a store where they're pushing their own supplements. And get professional help. You wanted to talk about
bad advice, George. On the way here, it's not related to the stores we went to. On the radio, I heard they came out with some studies now. They said drinking from styrofoam cup. I see a styrofoam cup over here, Craig. They just now linked it definitively to leukemia.
All right.
Drinking. The styrene is a toxin.
Well, we've known that for a while, but now they've finally proven it.
But their advice was, if you're pregnant or you're a young child, don't drink out of styrofoam cups. It's okay for you to get leukemia, Craig.
Yeah, when the worst part is when you have styrofoam cups, usually you have it because you want the insulation barrier between the heat and your fingers. Well, that heat activates the chemicals in the styrofoam.
Like if you keep the water bottles in the car too long and it's hot?
It's a different chemical, but
yeah.
Same principle. It just as poisonous.
Way to bring this whole thing down, talking about leukemia.
I've come to the conclusion after listening to the show that
avoiding leukemia.
If you want to be authoritative or you want to sound knowledgeable, talk fast and talk with
B20.
Yeah, and just
and put
sound like
behind everything, baby.
It sounds like you know what you're talking about, and because nobody knows. You go to these GNC, you go to these typical retail outlets.
Well, that's why I asked Dave. I said, because I know what to look for, not necessarily from a knowledge standpoint, but from a person when someone's, starting to fill you full of bull. And I said, Dave, when you go into a store, any store, what do you recognize as someone who's not telling the truth or who is, and whether you know to go forward with their suggestions or not. So I think more than understanding what you should and shouldn't buy from someone in any store, look at how their mannerisms are, what they're saying. Are they sincere? Do they really know what they're talking about it? And take that away. Don't necessarily buy something because you need it at that point.
A lot of generalities.